Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how easy it is to record great sounding electric bass simply by plugging into the front of the Clarett 2Pre interface. I'm going to show you how to record the DI and a mic'd amplifier simultaneously to give you more options on the mixdown process. We'll be using a number of plugins throughout to show you the exceptional low latency. Today, our bassist is going to be playing on a Fender Jazz bass and a Mark bass amp. We've gone to the trouble of recording some drum tracks for you to play and record along to. So make sure you register the interface and download the free sample pack. Plug your speakers into outputs 1 and 2 using balanced jack leads. Then connect the Thunderbolt cable, power supply and switch on the unit. Plug your guitar into input 1 and plug the XLR cable, which is miking the amp, into input 2 and set the gain. So our bassist Simon is DI'd into input 1 of the Clarett 2Pre, and I'm going to send that signal out of output 3 and into this Mark bass amp. So I'm going to plug that in, and then I'm going to use an SE Electronics T2 mic, but I'm going to use it with a bit of distance so that I can pick up a lot of the characteristics and resonance of this room, because then I can blend it with the DI signal that we've got on input 1 and hopefully get some really interesting results. So now we've got our DI in input 1 and we've got the mic'd amplifier in input 2, and we need to just check the levels and make sure that we're not going into the red. So if you could just play something. So now that we've put a mic in front of the amp and we've plugged that into input 2 of the Clarett, we need to send some signal from input 1, or the DI of the guitar, out of output 3 into the amp. So in Focusrite control, we need to go to mixing and routing, and we've got an output of 3 going into the amp. So we need to create output 3, like so, and I'm going to label the inputs DI guitar and the mic, which is an SM57. And in monitor outputs 1 and 2, we want to hear both the DI and the SM57 in front of the amp. And in line outputs 3 and 4, we need to create a custom mix whereby we cut out analog 2, because we don't want to hear a duplicate of the mic, otherwise it will cause a feedback loop. I've also removed the playback 1 and 2 from this custom mix as well, because we don't want to hear the drums and the other backing instruments going into the amp. So I've killed that as well. So now I go to File, save the snapshot, Focusrite, Reamp, and you can now download this as part of this tutorial. So we've connected the DI of the bass to channel 1 and the mic'd amplifier in channel 2 of the Clarett 2Pre, and we've added phantom power on channel 2 because the mic requires it, and we've configured our reamp in Focusrite control. Now in Logic, I've got a session here with some drums and some guitars, and what I've done is I've simply dragged in a drum loop that I like from the Focusrite drum pack, from the rock drums here, just dragged it in like so. I'm going to delete that now because we don't need it. And the drums sound a bit like this. So now what I need to do is create 2 channels, one for the DI and one for the mic'd amplifier. So I select input 1, tick the ascending box, so it's ticked, and then select 2. Then click on Create. I'm going to call the first one DI and the second one the Mark bass amp. On the DI and the Mark bass channels, I'm going to load in some Focusrite plugins that come free with the Clarett 2Pre. So I'm going to load in the Focusrite EQ. I'm going to select electric bass, copy the settings, open the Mark bass channel and paste the settings there. So we've got consistent settings there. And I'm going to load in a compressor after the EQ. Again, I'm going to load the electric bass preset, copy the settings and paste them into the second channel. Also, for my mic'd amplifier, I'd quite like to add some distortion. So I'm going to go into soft tube plugins and load a metal amp room. And I'm going to use a preset called Crunch Classic Rock. I'm going to close that. Now I'm going to ask my bassist to play some guitar. So if I record, enable and input monitor both channels, I'm going to balance the track's volumes together. Okay, that's sounding good. And now I'm going to ask my bassist to play in his section. So I'm going to turn the loop off and move the playhead to the beginning of the drum intro and hit R to record. Okay, so now I'm going to trim the beginning and end parts of that take. And I'm also going to fade them in and out. And this removes any unwanted pops and clicks from the audio. So now I'm going to loop the section and I'm going to blend the two channels together. And now I'm going to add the guitars back into the mix. So there we have it, a quick tutorial on how to record bass guitar with the Clarett. Don't forget to register your Clarett interface and download the free sample pack, plugins and Ableton Live Lite. Thanks for watching.